A lot of times, people will ask me, "What books can you recommend regarding the doctrine of predestination?" Actually, they don't ask. They don't actually ask me that. I don't think a lot of people think about the doctrine of predestination, but I absolutely do, because it is such a personal doctrine for me. Because I've kind of really gone through personally conversion, and it certainly, just like the verse in Ephesians 2:8 and 9 say, chapter 2, verses 8 and 9, about how we do not merit our own salvation. It is not of ourselves. It's not caused by any works of ourselves. It is purely the grace of God. But when talking about predestination, two books come to mind. I think, well, a lot of books have been written on the doctrine of predestination, but these are hands down the two best books that regarding that doctrine of predestination. The first one I want to talk about is this one, and this is actually volume 6 of the works of William Perkins. William Perkins was a Puritan in the 17th century, and in this book there is an amazing discourse on predestination. It's called The Manner and Order of Predestination, and it was written in 1606. It really hinges, well, the doctrine itself, I think, hinges on two particular verses: Romans 8:29-30 and Acts 13:48. Let me just read Romans 8:29-30, which is oftentimes referred to, you may have heard it referred to as the golden chain of salvation. For those which he knew before, he also predestined to be made like the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he predestined, he also called, and whom he called, he also justified, and who he justified, he also glorified. That's Romans 29:30. Oops, sorry, I got the camera a little bit slanted to the right as I was reading that. And then the other amazing verse that really drives home predestination is Acts 13:48. Acts 13:48 says essentially the same thing as Romans 8:28, Romans 8, and that is, so as many as were ordained to everlasting life believed. That's about as clear as you could come to the doctrine of predestination. And so the manner and order of predestination is just, it's about 100 pages inside volume 6 of the works of William Perkins. Now let's go over to Lorraine Bettner's treatment of predestination. His work, The Reformed Doctrine of Predestination, was written in 1937, I believe, so mid-20th century. Bettner has this book is probably widely considered in Reformed circles to be one of the most modern, or out of all of modern treatments of predestination, this book is hands down one of the best. Just an incredible look, thorough, very thorough look at predestination, but not just predestination, all of Reformed theology as well from Bettner. Bettner is a very, very detailed writer, but he's a very lucid writer though as well. Very accessible book, and applicable for today, just because the doctrine of predestination really is a timeless doctrine. And then the third book, we're just going to say, is the Bible. And the best place to look for predestination in the Bible is Ephesians 1 and that entire chapter. Just read through that chapter and soak through that chapter, marinate in it as Paul goes through God's predetermined choice on his elect.